Many people are asking me a few questions on the need for a chartered status for HR profession. I'd like to answer some of these questions. The first question asked is, what are the advantages of making HR a chartered profession? I find a number of advantages. The first advantage is that there will be standards established for the profession. Number one. Number two, the profession will be elaborated to include a variety of things. It will talk about who is a generalist in HR and who is a specialist in HR. What are all the specializations are there in HR? Are you a specialist in industrial relations? Are you a specialist in labor laws? Are you a specialist in learning or organization development, performance management? I think we'll have to decide how many specializations are there and what is a generalist HR and what is a specialist HR. The second thing that will happen is certification. I think the standards will be prescribed for each one of the generalists as well as specialists. Certification will also be prescribed. Now, there is no need for anyone to fear that today I am offering certificate and there is nobody to question this to me. Tomorrow somebody will be questioning and so on. I would like to say at this particular stage that if some standards are laid out by a body and to say that to be called an IR specialist, this is what you need to know, and these are the kind of standards you should have. These are the ethics and values that you should practice. Even if you are an agency giving the degrees, won't it help you? So it will help you to benchmark yourself, meet the standards, and hopefully after several years, the certification may be prescribed to say unless you are evaluated, you are reviewed and certified, your certification is not valid. But we have a long way to go. Maybe we have at least about 7, 8, 10 years to go. It is only after 10 years one would have, because it's a developing a profession is not a joke. It is not a 1 year job or a 1 hour kind of a job. So this is the second kind of advantage we have. So we'll have certification, entry, exit and so on. The third important advantage that we are likely to have in making HR a chartered profession is code of conduct, ethics and values. Anyone who is not following the code of conduct, there will be mechanisms by which the person who is violating, the group that is violating the code of conduct will be examined, and if necessary, I think that the action can be taken on that particular person. Again, we have a long way to go. We are nowhere near. Even in management, I think that kind of a thing does not happen at this point of time. But it could happen in medicine, it could happen in chartered accountancy, it could happen in other professions. And there is a fourth advantage. The fourth advantage is security that gets provided. Because I think the professionals need to be protected to carry out their job very well. Professionals, I think, for example, I think doctors have protection, or lawyers will have protection. So will HR people. And I'm sure some of you will appreciate in the last few years, we have had incidents where there was unfortunately no security and we have lost a few lives of HR professionals. This is a very significant part of the chartered status of a HR profession. And the fifth advantage, I think it lifts up the status of a profession. Anyone cannot call himself or herself a HR professional and perform. I don't want to rule out that people, there are many quacks and others who will keep practicing. But I think at least there will be some kind of a regulated kind of a mechanism. One of the questions that is asked in relation to this is, are we subjecting ourselves to a new bureaucracy? Now it is everyone's field, and therefore we are able to acquire, we are able to freely learn, it is a free society and so on. I think I agree that we are a free society, but a free society also has certain responsibilities on the part of anyone who calls himself or herself a professional. I'm not very sure if all those who are calling themselves HR professionals carry out the self-regulated responsibilities. So today this is left for self-regulation. Unfortunately, there is nobody, neither NIPM, nor ISTD, nor HRD network, nor CIIR, any of the bodies have been able to do this particular kind of a work. That we all feel very sensitive. We are a highly relationship-driven country. We like each other. We only point out to the faults of others behind the other person, not in front of them. But I think hopefully when you have a chartered status, we are able to discuss some of these issues and sort out any ethical issues, standards issues, and something of that kind. Friends, I again want to say that we have a long way to go. This is one question that quite often asked, and I have answered this question. Another question that is quite often asked is that what happens to all the certificate programs that we are running today? Anyone can go through an MBTI course or a 16 personality factor or an assessment center of any one of these consulting companies and call himself herself an assessor certified by XYG kind of a company and so on. Now, when you become a chartered profession, will this prevent these people from practicing? My answer is no, not at all. Because the profession is built on a body of knowledge. The body of knowledge has been built by all those people who are practicing today. If somebody is running an SSS program, they have built a body of knowledge and they are practicing. Or an MBTI certification, they have built a body of knowledge and they are practicing. Or running a master's in HR, built a body of knowledge and practicing. Or giving a certificate in XYG kind of areas, they have again built a body of knowledge. When you become a chartered profession, we want to take all these body of knowledge into consideration and legitimize this. So a chartered profession consolidates all the knowledge that is available and legitimizes the position by fixing certain standards of the knowledge as well as behavior and so on. Attitudes will be prescribed, competencies will be prescribed. So this is the way we lift up the professional status of an educational institution or of a consulting company that gives. So nobody is going to bar you from practicing whatever you have been practicing so far. In fact, the body of knowledge we are going to do is going to be built on whatever is happening. Of course, when it happens, certain standards will come into picture, and some people who are quacks, who are not doing the right things, may get affected because they will be pointed out because you are not meeting the standards. Anyone can pick up the standards from the chartered status and say that are you following this standards and so on. So I think there is a way of regulating. So I want to assure those people who really have a genuine body of knowledge that you have nothing to fear about this. So this will in fact help you if you have genuinely built a body of knowledge to build it more. A third question that is often asked by people is, what is in it for me? Why should I supply the information to NIPM or HRD network, ISTD, CII, anybody who asks me for it, and register myself as a member of the, as a proposed, to get into the registry of HR professionals, which is only a beginning. I would only say at this point of time, there is no legal kind of a requirement. We are only appealing to people. If you register yourself as a registered simply HR professional, all that it means is you have registered yourself. In our effort to make this as a chartered status, you have registered yourself by indicating that you have called yourself a HR professional. All that we need is this. Now, what will you have tomorrow? When we stabilize the whole thing and when this becomes a chartered profession, it lays down the standards and so on. It helps you to examine which of the qualities, which of the standards are you meeting. It helps you to identify your own expertise. It helps you to promote your own expertise in ways that are legitimized through the chartered status of this particular kind of a body. So if somebody says, I am a specialist only in worker education, I run only a life journey program for workmen, this is my area. I think this will become an area, it gets fed into the chartered status, and we say people who conduct life journey programs for workmen should be doing this. These are the variety of programs. These are the kind of things that have been successfully reported. This is the body of knowledge. If you run a one-day program, this is what will happen. If you want to run a one-year program, this could contain. And these are the sources from where this will be available. These will all get legitimized over a period of time. So if you ask the question, what is in it for you? I think if you have a body of knowledge, if you are following certain way of doing things, you have mastered something, I think we would like to capture the mastery that you have and incorporate into the chartered status, so that tomorrow whatever you are doing becomes a very legitimized kind of a thing. Another question that is asked by, this is particularly asked by educational institutions, those who are recognized by AICTE or recognized by universities and so on. I am already recognized, why do I need somebody else to recognize? Please remember, when you get a chartered status to your profession, it is not a merely a recognizing body of already recognized body of knowledge. Universities are sources from where body of knowledge is recognized. AICTE is a body that recognizes a body of knowledge and regulates. So this particular thing that we are going to be working towards will not bring any issues for all those who are already recognized. We will be creating new avenues of recognizing those who have not been recognized. So we want to bring in all the, because human resources, people management practices is such a vast area. Sky is the limit, and it is going to be a never-ending kind of process. Psychologists will come into this, sociologists will come into this, anthropologists will come into this, personal management specialists will come into this. Everyone under the sun who will be working with human beings will come into this, including, I am sure, I think the work done by great spiritual gurus also will come into this, because they are dealing with human beings and so on. They are promoting some of the most wonderful kind of human management practices, self-discovery practices and things like that. So this is a mammoth kind of a task, and nothing to fear. Nobody who has a solid knowledge and success experience need to fear about this. It is only those who are on shaky grounds, who are fake kind of people, who need to be worried about this. And this is not going to be a regulating body of other regulators. This is going to be a body that helps people to understand the standards and meet some of these kind of standards. So nothing to worry about those who are running. And in any case, I think we are going to build whatever we are going to build with all your help. Another question that is quite often asked is, I am already a member of NIPM or ISTD or HRD network or local management association or CII and so on. What will happen to my membership? Will there be any change? We would like to assure you that there will be no change in the membership of whatever professional bodies you are in. In fact, we would encourage members to become professional member of at least one or the other body. There is nothing wrong. In fact, there is talk that has been going on for the last 1 decade of how do we have more collaboration between all the human HR professional bodies like NIPM, HRD Network and ISTD among themselves. And they are yet to meet and find out some kind of a valuable way in which they can collaborate. India is a vast country. We just had a conference of the National HRD Network. Now, today we are having the conference of NIPM. Next month we have ISTD. Each one of them are having about 1,000 to 1,200 people attending them. Wonderful kind of job. This country is vast, and we are such a large kind of a nation with almost about 1.4 billion people. And go to America, in such a small country, you go to SHRM or go to any of the other conferences, you will find 15,000, 20,000 people attending. So 1,000, 1,000 people attending is not any great kind of a symbol that we are going to lose anything. In fact, I think we want to have many more people attend some of these conferences, share knowledge, benefit from it, and enhance their own kind of a value. So our membership remains intact, our current mechanisms remain intact. Only thing that is likely to happen is we are lifting up the standards of all these bodies, lifting of the standards of the postgraduate programs, graduate programs, certificate programs. We are also introducing certain amount of ethics, values and so on. Friends, therefore, not to worry, we have a long way to go. We need your help. Help us, join us in this particular kind of a venture. Soon we might put up a portal in which we will work out mechanisms of registering. Somebody can just go to the portal, give information and register himself. We want to simplify this. For all this, I will of course depend upon NIPM. And I want to thank NIPM for this great initiative and for choosing me to chair this particular committee on chartered status for people management in this country. Thank you very much. All the best. Have a great time.